currently the FV215B is quite possibly the worst tier 10 in the game. Not even heavy, just worst tier 10. I would honestly drive a 183 over this vehicle, and the reason is because it has no armor, no mobility, and the gun just isn't enough of a savior anymore. However, in Update 9.1, the 215B is getting absolutely resurrected into a beast unknown. So let's first take a look at the gun that the 215B is going to have next update. 3008 base DPM. That means if you're putting on gun rammer, you're going to have 3234 DPM. That is really good DPM values for a heavy tank. It'll be one of the highest in tier 10. So it's got its old DPM back, but not only that, take a look at its HESH penetration, 187 millimeters. I can tell you I will be running Kali on this tank just so I can have that 187. That's going to be enough to cut through a lot of lower plates of mediums, easily through the side armor of almost any tier 10 heavy tank. Yeah, the 215B is not going to be a tank messed with in the next update. And of course, with the higher DPM and that HESH, you're going to have over 4,000 damage per minute. Now, the mobility of the tank is not changing at all, but the other very important aspect is the hit point pool. It's going up to 2576 as long as you're running enhanced sandbag armor. Now, you could run the other enhanced sandbag as well, so let's say you wanted to take off improved fuel and run another, you can get it up to 2645, but I wouldn't suggest it. You still want to have improved fuel and putting in T, so I usually just run enhanced sandbag armor. But yeah, 2576 is going to be very beefy for this type of heavy tank, especially with the DPM it's going to have. It is losing 15 millimeters off the upper plate, but let's be real, the upper plate on this tank was never good. You could penetrate it with really any heat shells as it is. So I'm quite excited for the new 215B, because it's going to get more hit points, making it more survivable on the battlefield. It's getting more DPM back, and the HESH, oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be a scary tank. It's going to be definitely one of the scariest tanks out there on the battlefield in the future. I might actually put adrenaline back on instead of the mobility as well, because now I can actually make use of the really solid gun this vehicle does carry. So let's take a look at how the 215B does perform now that we've gone back to the 9.1 client, and let's take a look at the difference in statistics. So we had 3008 DPM with Kali on, now we're up to 2698. Oh wow, yeah, that's 300 less. That's a huge buff coming back on the vehicle. You'll notice the HESH pen is currently 132. It's going up 50 millimeters of HESH pen. That's also massive. And the hit points currently are 2408. It's going up around 190 on its hit point pool as well, with enhanced sandbag added on. So yeah, the 215B is just getting a flat buff everywhere all around to lose only 15 millimeters on the turret. Now, I'm still probably not going to love the 215B. It's never been a tank I've really enjoyed playing because of its armor profile. I like heavy tanks to have specific traits that make them really strong, and the 215B's trait is sacrificing armor for the gun. The problem is that it doesn't really have another thing going for it apart from the gun. The 215B is a rear turreted heavy, which means that you try to side scrape in it, and it just doesn't side scrape very well. So it always gets me very frustrated when I get penned in a very good side scrape that would work with any other rear turreted heavy tank. But that's just me not loving this vehicle. I can definitely say there are plenty of people out there that are going to absolutely love this tank when it does get buffed in the next update. So you can see here I'm using speed boost going over 40 kilometers per hour, and it's off. The 215B has a very solid power to weight ratio, just unfortunate that its top speed is only around 34 kilometers per hour, so you really don't get anywhere incredibly fast, but at least because you can keep that top speed up, you do get in the position decently. So what does the enemy team have? They got a Sheridan, a 62A, T57 Heavy, 50 TP, E75, and then for TDs, they've got a Grill 15 and an FV215B 183. Now the 183 is already spotted over here, and that is a very very scary take, especially for a vehicle like the 215B. One penning Hess shell is more than half of my health, and one penning AP shell is about half of my health. There's the Sheridan, and just look at how bad the side armor is. Right through my side, I was so salty about that shot. Right through the space armor, I was like, really, really? So, yeah, you can see where the 215B's armor just seems like a tier 8 heavy shoved up a tier 10. But we're going to keep on trying here. So we got the 62A off to the side. Can't really do much to him right now. The 215B does have a great gun, even with the nerfs on its accuracy. So it's still amazing with everything it's got going for it. But not much I can really do in this situation. I can't drive over the hill because I'll just be absolutely farmed out by the 62A and Sheridan up there. And oh boy, that is not a tank I want to play with. I'm very, very lucky I was able to get into cover before that 183, possibly just snap the shell. Gonna fire another shell at the 183 and oh, okay, guess my shell velocity's not as good as I thought there. Alright, well, in this situation, we're not doing awful, but we're not doing great either. The 183 has really got me in a pickle, because if I try to back up, I'm going to be demolished by him. But, thankfully, he's not paying attention, so we're able to get one shell into the 183. With that, 183 is down to 351 hit points. And we need one more shell on average to clear him, so let's aim it on his upper plate and fire. There you go. We cleared the 183. Nice. So the biggest threat is now officially dead. So now we've got the 62A. I'm going to be honest, this shell here was bad. I should have just fired AP. So I fully deserved being penned there and bouncing that shell. But this here, this is a perfect example of the armor just being useless. That Sheridan was able to penetrate a heat shell. You can see right on my engine deck, right into this little corner plate here. And that is a very big weak spot. Even when you're in a side scrape, if you have enough heat pen, you can very easily just pen this tank when it's side scraping, which is just irritating, you know. I mean, that was a pretty steep angle there for a heavy, and still just goes right through the armor. So at this position, we're up to 1900 damage. Nothing crazy, but we've definitely been able to hold our own and get at a decent chunk of damage. Get a nice snap into the Sheridan, and he's cleared, and all that's left is the T62A. Okay, so I'm going to angle towards the 62A. Unfortunately, I don't have the gun depression, but we do have our second repair kit. That's why I always carry 2 repair kits over a adrenaline or something else. It's either adrenaline or speed boost I'm going to carry on my usual heavy. But there you go. Nice clear onto the 62A. And all that's left is the Grill 15 off to the side, which we're going to load a Hesh into. Oh, baby. And what is that low roll? 396. My average damage is 515 and it rolls me 396. So this is the FV215B. Currently, it just doesn't have anything going for it. Its armor is useless. Its hull down capabilities are quite bad because it's rear turreted, so whenever you try to use it hull down, the entirety of the hull shows itself. Its gun is decent, but definitely needs some work. Thankfully, in 9.1, it seems like that is exactly what we're going to be getting for the FV215B. So, let me know if you're excited for this tank in the comments down below. I'm excited, but probably still not going to play this tank because I really don't enjoy it all too much. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!